This one comes from Billy. He is in North Carolina. Billy writes, Eddie, since SiriusXM seems to be doing more and more video content, it might be a good way to get a version of TMS back on and stream it daily. I'm not sure if it's viable, if it's a viable option and would be better on regular TV, but it's just a thought. Love the show. Thanks, Billy in North Carolina. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate it. Yes, there is an increased push for video content. If you have the SiriusXM app, and I hope you do, and you've had a chance to look at some of the video, there's a bunch from my show. A lot of the radio studios in both the New York and LA facilities have cameras built into them now, so you are getting a little video, or a lot of video, actually, of some things. Even my LA invasions are being shot with video being put up there. But see, there's a big difference to me than just capturing video of a radio show and doing what we did on that metal show. I've maintained the whole time, and I am totally open, by the way, to doing TMS again on a streaming platform. I understand that that is as viable almost today, certainly to be on a big platform like a Netflix or Amazon. It's as viable as being on a regular TV channel. So I have no problem with that. But what I've said consistently about TMS is that if I do it again, I want it to be at least of the quality that it was. Meaning I don't want to go backwards and do a version of the show that's basically becomes a radio show on video. Because frankly, I'm already doing that. I'm doing 6 live radio shows a week here on SiriusXM, Monday through Friday on Volume, and then the Monday show that I do on Hair Nation as well. So there's not a real lot of interest for me in just basically videoing my radio show. That's kind of happening already. So I want to do something that's on par with what TMS was, meaning live audience, the top 5, the Stump the Trunk, the different segments, the field pieces. That takes more production. Is it possible to do that at, say, the Sirius studio in LA, the new facility? Sure. But that's a completely separate deal. It's something the company has to want to do. It's a bit of a different beast, to be honest. If they wanted to have a conversation about it, I'm sure we could. But it's not a crazy idea, but it's not, I don't think, where the focus is at the moment. But who knows? Anything's possible. I can tell you this. I can tell you when it comes to that metal show, and last week we had a reunion party in New York with the cast and crew, and that was wonderful. The consistent, I guess commitment would be the word, from you guys, the fans, to have this show back has been mind-blowing. Especially when you consider, as I've said many times, the show currently does not replay anywhere. So it's really been off the grid for 4 or 5 years, but every day I'm still asked about it. So that is wonderful and appreciated. But where it ends up, if it ends up anywhere, I don't know. But I can tell you we are having, I guess you could say, an increased resurgence in dialogue to talk about doing it again. But we still need to find the proper outlet to get it done. That may be streaming. That may be a pay service. It may be a subscription thing. I would love for it to be on a TV channel. I just don't think that's viable. I don't know any TV channel, barring the MTV VH1 channels, which obviously own it and don't want to do it. I don't know any other outlet that would make sense for a show like that and have an interest, unless they thought outside the box a little bit, and then I have a lot of ideas. But most of these guys don't think like that. But there are a zillion streaming outlets. We all know that. The other thing I'm a little concerned about and a little leery about, too, is I don't know how you guys feel, but we are all being asked now to pay a lot of monthly fees. When you think about TV, there was that whole movement of the cord cutter. Remember what the cord cutter was? It was like younger people were getting rid of cable and just going to the internet and watching everything streaming and cutting the cord on cable. Well, how's that working out for people now when you have to have about 8 streaming services to cover everything? And guess what? You're paying the same monthly fee you would have paid if you just kept cable TV. So I'm a little leery of that as well. And I think, like anything, some of these services will sink and some will swim. But I know even for me, there's a certain level of fatigue that comes in where every time I hear about a cool new show, well, where is it? Oh, you got to go get CBS Prime or ESPN Plus, or I'm like, God, stop. Too much now. But it's a thing, and we'll see how it all shakes out. I'm not opposed to anything, but I'm just kind of like navigating the waters like everyone else. Let's get to another email. This is from Derek, who is in Iowa. Eddie, just saw Slayer last week, and you were right. They are still great. Not sure why they need to retire. They do indeed still rock. Also saw Phil Anselmo open up with a nice mix of classic Pantera songs. A lot of people showed up early to see Phil, and he mentioned that and was very thankful for it. Good for them for keeping it real and live. Thanks, Eddie. You rock. So Derek is referencing the recent leg of the Slayer farewell tour, which is winding down. That bill also features Primus on the bill and one other band that escapes me at the moment. It's a quadruple. Oh, Ministry. I just saw Al Jorgensen recently. So it's Ministry, Primus, and Anselmo opens, and I'm told goes on as early as 6 o'clock. That's why Derek in this email reference people showing up so early. I think it's really interesting what Anselmo was doing here, and kind of surprisingly, not a lot of people are really talking about it that I've noticed. But the fact that Anselmo has now, with Vinny being gone and Dime being gone, and we all know there was no love lost there, has now sort of taken the Pantera mantle and run with it to a large degree, where he is out there playing Pantera songs. Now, I don't even know who else is in his band. I've heard very little about this, and I've not seen it myself. But it's kind of an interesting thing that he would take this and run with it like he is, and where does it go from here? I'll have to get Philip on the show sometime in the near future and ask him these questions. Is this something that he wants to keep doing? Is this something he just did for this Slayer tour? Is this something he would go out and tour beyond this? I mean, I would certainly think that if Anselmo decided to go out and announce a club tour at the very least, where he's going to do all Pantera with a killer band, that's going to do business. Is this sort of the launching point for that? I don't know. Would he consider including Rex Brown? I don't know. How long, for how long did we hear in the years that Dime was gone that, oh, there should be Pantera and Zakk Wylde will play guitar? Well, now Vinny and Dime are tragically gone. So what does this all mean? You know, is there a play here? Is Anselmo going to really go out and run with this now? I don't know. But clearly he is doing it on a pretty big stage in basically arenas with Slayer. The difference being he's a little under the radar here just simply because he's fourth billed on a 4-band slot, and I think just does a half an hour at 6 o'clock. So I don't think everyone is fully seeing what he's doing just yet. But that would change if he decides to do it beyond this out there on his own. We'll keep an eye on it and certainly let you know. Thank you, Derek, for the email. I do appreciate it.